Guys, welcome in. This is episode 2 of the BadAAAS podcast. This is going to be a different one. The first one, we actually had more things to present. In this one, we're just going to get a little bit more real and just talk about experiences, challenges, and insights like this podcast itself. The first one was very scripted with topics. We knew exactly what we were going to say. This one, we kind of know what we're going to say because me and Greg can yap for hours about anything. So we're going to try it. We're going to kick it off.
I don't know, Dan. You said the first podcast was scripted. I don't know if I can go with scripted because you threw some stuff in front of me 7 minutes before we started. And hey, Greg, here's some things we're going to talk about. So I don't know about scripted, right?
I wouldn't say
It was
seven
pretty much
minutes.
just on the fly.
Opening it 7 minutes before and getting it sent to you 7 minutes before is different.
So let's talk a little bit about our ideas of the podcast. Yours is more flashy,
Gen
edits,
Z.
B-roll is what?
Yeah, it's more like Gen Z. I'm trying to get good clips for the podcast. It's like flashy, you said.
Gen Z, now we have to have an age debate. Is this one generation against another? I didn't know we were going to go here on the podcast.
We're talking about styles. Gen Z is a little bit more not mature, I guess if you want to say that, but they're also very like ADHD. So we like clips. You guys, more long form, locked in, you're more focused.
What do you mean, you guys? What are you talking about, you guys? You talking about old people, Dan? What are you saying?
If you want to say that, I'm
Oh
talking
my,
about people born between a certain time period. There's nothing wrong with that. I called myself a
a
Gen Z.
certain time period. Oh, good spin on words, my friend. Very politically correct. And wow. Are you in politics? Are you doing politics on the side? What's going on over there in Vegas?
I just
No,
do sales. That's the problem. I think I know what to say and I try to make it sound nice.
I told you to be less salesy, Dan, right? You got to be more real, more genuine,
Kind of didn't.
not that sales stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
That's why I write stuff down. I really write stuff down, which you seem to have a problem with. You're like, why does my Gen Z partner write stuff down? Trying to
No,
be
I don't
real.
have a problem with you, right? No, no. Look, I respect writing things down. Look, hold on. You see, I write things down too.
Doodles.
But what I don't understand, what I cannot get my mind wrapped around is how somebody your age is dealing with whatever size those are. I don't know, 4x5, whatever those note cards are. How is that the tech guy, right? I wanted to partner with you because of the tech guy, the AI guy, the young guy. And then he brings in note cards to write things down. My friend, I'm using Whisper to put everything in electronic form. So, plus I'm left handed and I can't even read my own handwriting half the time. So, that brings a whole nother level of complexity into handwritten notes.
Well, there's a pendulum swinging, right? It's coming back. If you know Matan Evans, he's actually younger than I am. He's a YouTuber. He does interviews on YouTube with like pretty big names. And
Mhm.
his guests on his podcast have actually said that same thing that you're saying. They're like, what? You're like a young guy. Why do you have stuff written down? We're going back to traditional stuff. It also seems more disrespectful if I pulled out a phone right now. One moment, Greg. I have my notes on here. Trust me, I'm not playing Candy Crush. So I don't know. I feel like if you're in an interview environment, it kind of looks more professional, less disrespectful, I guess, especially in sales. I'm writing it down and I'm showing that.
Well, I do wonder a lot of times, like even in today's meeting, right? I, this is a pet peeve of mine that I have not brought up. So I can bring it up on the podcast, right? So talk about ADD. So you were doing this the other day. I think it was with one of our team members, and they're really trying to tell you something, right? And you are obviously doing something else. And it is for me the ultimate sign of disrespect. Whatever you're saying is not that important because I'm focused over here. And I wanted to come through the Zoom meeting and go, Dan, what are you doing? Listen, somebody's saying something to you. It's important.
Oh, that has to do with the first thing I do when I wake up is get on the meeting. And so the last thing I do at the end of the day is go through my email. So the worst thing you can do in the morning is have your email up because then you're just seeing every possible fire when we're trying to do a meeting at the same time. So that's
One of
good.
the lessons I implemented a long time ago, well, I don't like to look at email. Anybody that knows that if you want to reach me, don't send me an email. Chances are I won't look at it. I literally look at my email a few times a week. But I think so in the morning, right? That's when you should have the most, your brain is the freshest, right? That's when you're the most creative. That's when you should be able to do your best work. And something else that's with all these messaging platforms, including email, right? Now, all of a sudden, you're at the mercy of everybody else's agenda because whatever they're sending you is important to them. And it can just totally derail your day, or in this case, your morning, right? You have certain things you want to get done. And all of a sudden, now you're responding to everybody else's needs and wants. I just got on a phone call right before this meeting, and one of my people at the dealership called, and they said, Greg, do you want to basically eat this $1,000 bank fee? So we have to take $1,000 out of the deal, right? And we're only making 2,000, so it's literally half the profit. And I've had this conversation before with my managers. Call me with all the information, and then I can make a decision. But don't just call me with one piece of information. You do your part. Oh, Greg, we're busy over here. We're trying to do this. We're trying to take photos. We have customers. Just give me the answer. And it's like, how are you ever going to learn how to fish if I just keep feeding you the fish? That's not the idea here. So let's slow it down. It took literally 7 minutes, but I went through everything again and I said, this is how I made the decision. So please, next time, bring me all this information. Show me that you know how to do the work. And then you give me all the, I guess, the critical pieces of information to make that financial decision. Because at the end of the day, they know I have to make those kind of financial decisions in the business. But you have all the tools, right? And I've given you the way to use the tools, the way to analyze the information to make the final decision. So, yes, we went through it. They didn't really like it because they were busy. They wanted to move on to the next thing, but no, we stopped. We trained. So next time, don't do this again. So I don't know why I brought that up, but
It's because you shouldn't check your email first thing in the morning. And
you
that's
should not
why
check your.
you don't check your email in the morning.
But what's this like? This new thing you did? I think it's new. Well, I know it's new, but what's this thing where you do jumping jacks before the meeting?
I go to sleep at 12 or 1, and then I wake up at 7. And the
That's
meeting is at
plenty of sleep.
7.
What are you talking?
But I open my eyes, and the first thing I see, Greg, is you in the morning. You have
Don't
to
tell your wife that.
you have to think of
Don't
that
tell your wife
context.
that.
I'm asleep. I wake up, it's Greg. I have to be that tuned in.
Hey, there's other people in the meeting. It's not just me. You wake up to the whole team in the meeting. So
That's true. And
jumping
then
jacks,
I'm
do the
what?
jumping jacks really work?
Yes, it helped me that one time, yes.
You remember we had a contest where we did push-ups. I don't want to
Oh
talk about
my
that. Okay.
gosh.
Let's get back to the point for a moment. So the meeting, I'm sorry, the podcast. We're talking about meetings, but I just wanted to make something that was a little bit more natural. And I think what we're doing is very interesting, right? And I don't like people that flex on social media, right? They're talking about all the wins. They a lot of times exaggerate things. It's just what's real. And I tend to gravitate more towards just people that are just more natural. The videos more natural, a little bit the day in the life, because we have a lot of fun on what we do, but we deal with a lot of problems and we make plenty of mistakes. We learn, we get better. So I just thought as we build this thing, because we're really just starting to build this and it's taken off. It's crazy what we got going on and what I know we can do this year. But I just wanted to make it a little bit more natural. What do you think?
Well, no, I like the clips. I like the flashy. First of all, I don't think case studies and wins are bad, but when they're blatantly fake, then I guess at that point it's bad. But no, I think that's good. And I think that people should have at least a little bit of pride in what they do, especially if they're getting good results for people. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but flexing for sure, using wealth or perceived wealth to get attention is definitely not cool. But it can be used in the right way. It just depends. You're not a really big fan of Ty Lopez. I am a really big fan of Ty Lopez. And he actually has said that. He's like, look, I only show the flash because that's what gets attention, and then I can actually share whatever message I'm there to do. So it can be used for good or bad.
And you like Grant Cardone, right?
Old Grant Cardone, new Grant Cardone, no. His new albums are trash, but his old albums are good.
Albums?
That's what I call them. programs. Like Cardone University in 2016 was like peak, and now it's like we've moved on. Now it's all about Jeremy Minor or Matt Ryder.
Oh, not you haven't mentioned Andy Elliott.
No, I haven't mentioned Andy Elliott.
You don't tune into him.
No, actually, I have. I think it's hard not to. He's so popular. But I used to think his rebuttals were pretty good until I started using them, and I was like, oh, this doesn't work for B2B. And at least the ones that I've seen him do are like more B2C, like solar, selling something like that, like cars. It's like B2C. I don't know. I prefer Matt Ryder or Jeremy Minor only because it's B2B and more relevant to me.
There's a crazy video out there. This guy's called, I think, the Certified Health Nut, and he had a really bad experience with Andy Elliott. I won't go into the details, but basically, Andy sold him a very high-priced marketing program to help get his business to the next level. He's an old certified health nut, might be like my age or a little bit younger, and he was struggling with website in the new age, his platform, social media, et cetera, et cetera. And it was interesting because of what Andy Elliott charged him, which was crazy high. And at the end of the day, it was go high level. And certified health nut figured out it was go high level, and then he looked at like costs for go high level, and he's like, what did I pay for?
I don't know the story, right? But I don't think that's wrong. If you're selling a snapshot for like a webinar funnel like Jason Wojo is, that is definitely worth thousands of dollars. I don't know what it was though.
I think it was around 40 grand, if I'm not mistaken. I could be way off on that number, but it was absorbently high to say the least. But to your point, he got virtually no results, I think, in 6 months. So of course he wanted his money back or some form of his money back. I don't know the whole thing, but anyways, it was interesting. So we talk about the podcast a little bit. Let's move into how we kind of today. We referenced the morning meetings, right?
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about like weird to me, like a lot of your meetings, like the boss meeting, you almost always do those with video off. And what's the reasoning behind that? Why the video is off
I
versus
get more engagement from people when the video is off. Like people are willing to actually like sit around or have a conversation versus like video on. They feel like they have to be like this, like they have to be there. And then they just end up leaving faster. But it's not the boss meeting anymore. It's the badass meeting. We're migrating over to school. Link in the description, guys, for watching. That's free for now. But yeah, I want to have definitely a more engaged community. And I feel like it's either or for most people. Like the person that's hosting is like have it on, or it's just off for everyone. But it depends. Maybe we should. What's your philosophy on that?
well, I think that I understand your point, and we're working on things, or like I jumped in that meeting. Like when people are like down or we're trying to collaborate on something, like really no need for the video. It can just be a distraction. And who wants the video on 24/7? Like you're going like have some longer Zoom meetings where we're working on things, like a little bit of a collaboration. Like I totally agree. Like I don't know, it's useless, pointless to have the video on. But a little bit about this, and I think I shared this with you. Like people in the what you want to call it the badass community, the students was talking about hiring VAs, and all of a sudden got my mind turning about, wow, when did I hire my first VA? It was like, at this point, it's probably 7 years ago. Somebody, one of my automotive software vendors, introduced me to the Filipino market, and then introduced me to Online Jobs PH. Shout out to that platform if you're thinking about recruiting. Want Filipinos, which I think the Filipino market is great. Why do I think it's great? I don't know. That culture is very loyal. Like you do the research on Filipinos, they're loyal and they're hardworking, and much respect. Like grew up Pennsylvania farm boy. Father used to always do business deals on a handshake, and his word was his bond. And so I think loyalty, and they are. I mean, you find really good ones, and of course, I had some bad ones. Not saying everybody from the Philippines is loyal and hardworking, but I just feel like the video helps build that relationship, right? Because it's saying that's tattooed in my mind that, and I didn't coin it. It might have come from Carnegie. I don't know who it came from. I'm sure you can Google it or put it in AI. But people don't care what you have to say until they know that you care. And I just really have learned like my best people The people that have been with me for a long time, like, would go through a wall for the company or for me. And those are the kind of relationships you just can't replace. And they take time to build, right? They literally take time, just like a personal relationship. What you put in, what you get out. I joke a lot about getting married in 72 hours, and then people say, "Oh yeah, how long you been married?" And I say 25 years at this point. I'm like, years, and you got married in 3 days? Man. So the relationship might be like very easy right now. Let's say it's on kind of mode, but man, you talk about the sweat, the hard work, the time invested in our relationship, which is why about 10 years into it, both looked at each other and said, man, we will never do this again, this life, right? Because we learned a lot, right? We learned about how to make things work between the two of us. And to a degree, like I always tell my people, like, skills you learn here or the skills you can bring to the table to help you build relationships, it's the same, right? Personal, professional. We're all just humans at the end of the day. So went off on a bit of a tangent, but the video just helps me create that relationship, right? People's facial expressions are important. Like it's when you're talking about critical things, and are they shocked? Are they happy? Are they sad? A little bit, in your case, answering emails while somebody's trying to talk to you. But reading somebody's face is critical. And another thing, we'll stop on this topic, but people kind of underutilize VAs. They almost look at them as like a low-level tool and just irreplaceable. I mean, I'm sorry. And that's the way you look at them, then that's what you'll get out of them. And you got one, well, we got a lot of rock stars, but she was with me for like months and totally underutilized. I had, was in a different department on the automotive side. Management really wasn't communicating with her. Remember, she was in tears that day and she said, I just feel like I'm on an island, Greg, and don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm not involved really in much. And I just get fed these projects or these tasks. I do them. Yeah, I just feel like I'm on an island. And by little I worked with her and I'm like, wow, like she's really smart. And the more we worked together, the more she kind of shined. And today I'm just like, we throw at her, she just takes it on and in general does a good job. So yeah, just building those relationships is critical. You'd be amazed what you can get out of people. Um, you put in.
So if you're on the next badass meeting in the community, like even come if you don't have a webcam, basically. And if you don't have one, get on your phone because you all got one.
Well, I gotta admit, like the one we did a few days ago, who's that? I don't remember names all the time. Was that Josh that had his camera on?
No, I haven't even seen his camera on yet. That was Matt.
Matt. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like I just felt a lot more comfortable. I didn't really know Matt, had not talked to him much, but started talking a little bit, right? But just seeing his face, like, I don't know, I just immediately felt like a little bit more connection with him and I felt more comfortable talking to him. Otherwise, you're just talking to like a, I don't know, avatar or an image that's there. It's very cold. And I don't know. Just my opinion. Maybe it's old school.
Yeah, conferences are old school for sure.
But think about if you're trying to pitch a client, right? You never turn the video on, right?
Oh
They don't
my
see you.
gosh. I used to do that all the time. I started closing more with the camera on. Let's not include that, but yeah, I was talking to a student about that because they were like, "Should I turn my camera on a sales call?" I was like, "Yeah, you probably should." And then he's like, "But you're old, like Saul, you didn't have your camera on." I was like, "I know," and that was like stupid. Like I could have had way more probably if I had turned my camera on in 2021.
So we've uncovered some things not to do on a sales call. Um, don't leave your camera off. Don't interrogate the prospect by asking them 15 like fire questions and half of them they don't know the answer to. Don't spend any time building any rapport with the customer. Forbid, create a little rapport with them. And not to be too interested in them and know anything about them or their business. That's a great way to start out off a call. And you wonder why people are not engaging with you and why there's no next step, because you did everything wrong in the beginning. It's what we talking about here. Like, how can it go so wrong?
They want to make money behind a computer screen. I'm like, Shopify, do affiliate marketing. I don't know what to tell you. Make content, I guess, faceless videos. That's a thing now.
Or create a Hey Gen avatar right now, right? Pop that baby up there and AI can do the call for you, your avatar.
The Glenn avatar.
Oh, let's not talk about Glenn. That's a whole nother podcast. So,
He's gonna be featured on the
all right.
podcast at some point.
Yeah. Where we lose everybody that tuned in. Today we piss off our audience. So what happened today? Like, what do we have to talk about? I know one interesting thing that happened on our meeting. I got distracted as we dug into the numbers, right? You remember that little event today, Dan?
SMS reporting?
Texting reporting.
Yeah.
It wasn't
SMS reporting.
Oh, SMS reporting. Okay.
Yeah.
We finally get the bot working really well, right? The texting bot for the car dealership. Struggle was inventory. Then the struggle was getting it to respond appropriately, like really like big transactions, $20,000, selling $2 bag of chips or whatever. And the bot has to be dead on, like you can't make mistakes. And especially when you're talking about the inventory, 100 vehicles, a lot of details. So we finally get it right. We get it dialed in, right? We test and we put it in the live atmosphere, live environment, sorry. And I tell the managers, look, the bot's going to start taking over the texting, right? And that's where you guys spend the majority of your time. So something's got to give, like has to be allocated in other pieces of the business. And what did I uncover today, weeks into this venture, only to find out that because I didn't do a good job monitoring the data up front. So now when we drill down on the data, we've got the humans at the dealership sending out maybe 70% of the text they were sending before the bot. So I think they're turning the bot off. I think they went back into their old ways and totally useless. So I'm still burning as much money on labor, can't reallocate the labor in a different area of the business. And especially like in their case, I wanted them to be on the phones more, right? Have those quality conversations, what we just talked about, build rapport, build trust, build credibility, build value. Like you guys know how to talk off the units, like know what we're all about. But our phone calls are down, our appointments are down, and you're just like tower away from the AI bot, like totally defeating the whole concept. So I think we probably didn't do a good enough job rolling it out, setting expectations, but old school philosophy, but inspect what you expect. And so many times people just expect certain things, but you don't inspect it.
That is Alex
So it
Gold's
goes off
favorite
the
thing to
rails.
say. Inspect what you expect. You sounded just like him right there. And all hell's about
Well,
to break loose in the Karma meeting tomorrow. I already know. Oh my God. It's going to be 7:03 and I'm going to see on Zoom. The host has another meeting in progress. I'm like, oh man, he's going crazy on the freaking salespeople today, man. Yeesh.
crazy. We're burning money, man. Come on. And we'll
On the
probably
labor.
definitely. But the good news, I prepped them a bit today, right? So they'll be prepared. They're going to come with a plan tomorrow, right? A plan to execute.
Hi, Greg.
So I had to tell my staff to bring me blood pressure medicine. I don't even have blood pressure medicine, but I wanted it. And this wasn't in today's meeting, but let's not forget about how many hours went into building a recruiting app that I thought was amazing. All of a sudden, we moved platforms and it's lost, never backed up on the old platform that we no longer have access to. And so I had sleepless nights this last weekend thinking, all that work, all that money, gone. We have to replicate it again. I'm like, please tell me. Greg, I have like these files. I know it's in here somewhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? We're looking for this valuable app that we built on a local computer amongst maybe 1,000 other files that Dan's going to file through to see if he can find it. I'm like, name these files something.
Blueprint 1, Blueprint 7, Blueprint 24. That's what it looks like. But we can't say that we
But
didn't find it. We did find it. And then what? Now you still got to build on it because they updated their API. So you're still cooked.
we're using that word interchangeably again. Oh my gosh.
I hope
I
there's
think
Zoomers
we need
watching
to
this
get
video.
some engagement, right? Like, love people to say, like, because it's a generational gap, right? Like, I don't know when that word came into play, But until I started working with you, I never heard that word. Truth. Never heard the word cooked unless somebody's in the kitchen. And then I started hearing it from you. And I'm like, and then I gradually like, oh, okay, I understand. That means they're like something good, like something up. Okay. But then I hear it used in the negative connotation, like as in bad, like cooked. And I'm like, what does it mean? Is it positive? Is it negative? Do I have to guess?
Okay, here it is. Ready? For the audience too. Let him cook. Don't interrupt him. Let him cook. He got cooked. That's like defeated. Like an unfortunate, like in May. Like he got cooked. And then another one, he's cooked. Like he no longer has the abilities he used. Or like
Well, see, if I would have had this training up front, if I would have been presented this classroom like about the language and the terms and the definitions, I could have, easier, quicker, but I don't know. I didn't get any training. I just got thrown in, expect to understand. And then, I had a hard time with, and of course, nobody wants to feel stupid, right? Because you just use these terms like everyone knows them, right? And I come in, you around some of your inner circle who's all like in their 20s, right? And it's just AFK. And I'm like, JFK, like Kennedy, like we talking about? What is AFK?
said that, I thought
Thank
that was
God.
somebody internally in BadAAAS. I thought like it said like IFK or something, no?
No,
But
no.
she knew what
First
that
time
meant, right?
she what?
Suzette knew what it meant though, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. She's younger than me, so maybe. I don't know.
Do you know
But
by how much?
maybe I'm sorry?
Do you know by how much?
No.
Oh, okay.
Probably, I don't know, probably like years, maybe a little more than 10, something like that. Now we're
IFK
gonna
is
get
like
into
a
an age thing.
all right. Well, first off, just because no one knows this, but the last meetup that we just did, right? The last mastermind we had for Boss, um, was having second thoughts because he felt like he wouldn't vibe with the people that are in their 20s. Me, by the way. And I was like, what is this like? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'll kill the vibe. I'm like, why do you feel like you're killing the vibe? But it's this programming that you have that because of your age, you're not able to be relatable. When in fact, you're more relatable than anybody under your age.
Well, I appreciate the words, but I'll tell you what really like that for me is because I thought like I acted in my 20s and I was off the rails. Then I thought about, man, if I was in that environment, like how I was and who I was around, and then somebody that much older was around, I'm like, we would not be hanging out. Like they're in their room by 7 o'clock or 7:30. They ate their dinner at 5. They're probably asleep by 9, and I don't know, watch some BS TV show or something. I don't know, but that's how I pictured the older person that's hanging out with us in our 20s. We're like at it hard until 7 in the morning, right? And go right into the morning meeting. So
Greg, no glaze. I'm not glazing here. Okay, other word. No glaze. Every single time somebody new joins the boss meeting and you're there, the BadAAAS meeting, man, who's that Greg guy? Who's that? I'm like, what do you mean that's Greg? And they're like, man, that guy's really cool. Every time without fail. But again, it's because you're comparing it to like you were that age. Like you compare probably you and I complete opposite. Like you now, I think.
you're me now.
Meaning
Oh
like I'm
God.
not really into all the partying, drinking. I live in Las Vegas, by the way.
Okay.
I don't gamble, I don't party. I am in bed by 12, but that's only because I'm working from 9 to 12.
Yeah,
You
I
got a
know.
little bit more faith. You're cooler than you think.
Okay. All
I
right. Thank.
haven't gotten through to them yet, but maybe we will.
All right. So what else happened today in the meeting?
What else happened? Um, in the morning, well, the morning meeting was really just 25 minutes of the salespeople texting. But after that,
So
yeah.
well, like this part up, but like, okay, let's talk a little bit about what we did the previous day, right? Let's talk about what we're working on today. We have a little bit of fun, right? We go off topic, have a little fun with each other. I hate meetings that are boring, agendas. So a little loose. We have a little fun. And, that's important in business, right? All the time, like it's to love what you do, but more importantly, you should love who you do it with. Because if it's just the business and it's just money and processes and I don't know, software, it's just cold. And I think that's like a bit concerning to some people with all the technology, right? And, at every corner. But, a lot about building this company. And I think the one thing I don't want to get away from is the personal touch on things, right? The human element. And at the end of the day, we're still humans. And, things that become too cold, too removed, too calculated. But yeah, I mean, meetings are productive. Sometimes they carry on a little too long, but I part of that time in building the culture, building the team, because we all live in different parts of the country. I mean, I think any of us are in the same, even close, right? Like Sue's in Alabama, you're in Vegas, I'm in Atlanta. Um,
Is in Puerto
Pakistan,
Rico.
what's that?
The headquarters is in Puerto Rico.
Ah, yeah. We got two people in the Philippines, but even they're like 9 apart or something crazy, 9 or 12 hours apart. Like Philippines is huge, but
Yeah.
yeah, so just really distant from each other. So again, I just building the team, right? And some of that just means getting to know each other, having a little fun along the way. So it's not just all business, but in general, I mean, projects, we get things done. And anyways, that's kind of how the meeting rolls. But we had a big client meeting today. That was interesting.
Well, in a good way. I don't think it was like, well, that was interesting in a bad way.
No, it was a good meeting. Yeah, I mean, pretty good job sticking to the agenda and running a cold email for a really big company. And I think, well, like we're better at cold email. We didn't come to the dance saying we're the experts. We have it all figured out. And, that we do, right? We do a lot of things. We test a lot of things ourselves. And as we test them and get better at things, then we can roll out better products and services to our clients.
Yeah, and it's a good one too. Like I feel like, fit in with the culture and badass too. Like it's not always so serious with them. Like, a little bit of that relationship, which is super important. I mean, I'm in person, which is
Yeah,
cool.
and they kind of business off VAs as well. So I think like him and I speak the same language. We understand, we share a lot of the same business philosophies, and helping them grow their business, and really well with them. It's fun. Like today it was like people on that call, like
5 weeks,
8 people.
something like that.
No, it was more than that
Our team was
because
four,
well, theirs was three.
three.
It was
Okay.
7. But we're getting some good results for them, and um good. I mean, we're good relationship with them. And as I told you, I mean, helping the smaller businesses, right? By everybody's at a different phase. And you and I have talked about this, like, help smaller businesses too is great. It's just different. It doesn't mean one is good. I mean, it started out small, right? Started out as a one-person show, and maybe it was a husband and wife team, and then they grew to a couple of employees, and they've kind of got challenges in business trying to get to the next level. And then you got our client that we met with today, who's huge, a ton of employees, been in business a long time, got multiple businesses, entrepreneur, and is really doing well. And you know, him face to face, and just hit it off, and your relationship. And then I came in and just kind of moving, and it's a great with these guys.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the clients that we have right now. Ones that we got signed up this week. I think it's going to be really good. They are bigger businesses who can actually like really make the most out of Leader. So I'm excited. And a lot of people are using it for their clients too, which is interesting, right? They're not just using it internally, like they're for their clients, which is, opening for me. Like, can we take it? Who can we target? Targeting high level primarily. Like we're talking people that use high level. And so think about that ecosystem. Like how many people use high level that would think Leader's valuable? I would say a majority of them. If they're actually running leads, that's
But
exciting.
there might be a better platform than GHL. Tune in
Oh yeah,
next.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna preach to everyone to use high level. Like if you use something really good, like HubSpot, Close, Salesforce, any of the really good CRMs,
Okay, take the jab, no problem.
then
Listeners will find out next time what we're talking about, but it's okay. You have your fun now, Dan. Go ahead, poke the bear, poke Glenn.
no, but I do want people to know, like, if they have their own CRM, they don't necessarily have to switch what they're doing. We just started with high level users because like a lot of our clients and people that we knew are using high level, and really tapped into that ecosystem. So
Yeah, and of course the students in the community are pretty much all using Go High Level. And no question, I mean, great platform. They've, amazing things in a pretty short period of time. I mean, you say they have like over employees, I think now. I mean,
Talking about high level?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I think what's cool, like, about our clients, and it's becoming a really good mix, right, between business owners and agencies.
I just got on a call with somebody today and they asked me that because they booked a call to speak to me about getting help with their AI in their business. And they're also an agency, like some of their clients and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, so your channels like agencies and, want to start a business? I'm like, last year, no, it's been quite a lot of business owners, to be honest. And yeah, agencies, but they don't want to buy it, right? They want to resell it. And that's common too. When I look at other people that are like, products maybe like cheaper, they're asking in their forums, like, are you trying to use this internally or to resell it? So I think that's obviously a huge opportunity. And a lot of agencies are filling out their information that way so that they can get information on white label. We just got a message on yesterday from someone, hey, is y'all have an affiliate? Can we resell this somehow? So who knows where that's going to go?
Yeah, for sure. It's I don't know, I can't wait to see how this year progresses. I mean, things are taking off, and it's just, to say the least, and building out leader. Um, I wanted you to comment on, Dan, and again, we could probably do a whole podcast on this, but you have had quite a bit of conversation lately about how a lot of clients come to us and they just need a little bit of help. They just want to solve one problem. I just need a little bit of help there, just a little bit of help to get me up over this hump. And then I'm good because I know how to use these tools. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been a recurring theme in the last couple of calls that I've had. Like, Dan, just need anything. Just help me with this one high level. Can you make retail book an appointment in high level? That's all I need. How much is that? I'm like, look, I know you want that. That's what I thought I wanted too. And then it took me 11 months to get to this point where I'm like, damn, that was not just one function. It was an entire beast. Because a lot of people right now, they want to jump into AI chat, and that's cool, do that. But then they just get into this trap of now you got to manage the AI. Like the guy I talked to earlier, right? The same person. Dan, I just need this one thing. He's talking to me right now. He's using assistable AI because it's so easily integrated with high level. It's like a retail like knockoff. He's like, yeah, so joke. We spent like 15 minutes on this meeting in complete silence. He was going through his emails, trying to find it. Like, he's like, yeah, let me go through all these calls, see if I can find a bad one for you. What the hell? I can't. Hold on, Dan. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 minute. Dan, I'm sorry. I don't care, right? But that was my point to him. I'm like, do you see this? This is what happens when you have a sales assistant in your business because now it's like you look over the bot. It defeats the whole purpose of automation. Now you have a full-time job looking over a bot when you could have just been calling them. That makes no sense. So that's why we created Leader because it all these problems that we have with chatbots. You talk about automation. Dan, I just need this one thing, and then you're going to be a full-time bot manager. You have the whole thing. Otherwise, it defeats the whole purpose of
Or
automation.
exactly. And the other thing, in this situation, I've been in this situation even before I met you. It's not like I wasn't, AI path hard and heavy before I met you. And I was trying to, playing around with the agency thing, but I was really trying to put it into my businesses because I knew what it could do. But, other that people really underestimate. So you see all these tools out here and they're popping up every literally minute of the day, right? And what you can do and how easy it is. So, yeah, is it easy? Can it be quick? Yeah, but you do it and it does virtually nothing in your business, right? It made very little impact. You thought it was going to like launch, right? Like, oh, I can eliminate people, I can repurpose people, whatever. Like, it's blow up my business. No, it's a small dent, like it did anything because what you did is so simple. Yes. Did you use one tool that was easy? Like, even when you get deep into vibe coding, like, okay, you do some really cool things with vibe coding. But when you get to a certain point, you need a developer. Like, you need somebody that can take it to the next level, troubleshoot things, maybe build on top of that. Like, it's limitations. But, and we had, I think it was last week on one of your sales calls, right? And we see this like one over here in one ecosphere software another bot's over here, but you got two different bots not communicating to each other. Yeah, they're doing their thing, right? They've made an impact in the business, but you can't put it all together and really make an impact in the business because they're disjointed.
Happens all the time. Like you were talking about warm transfer. The worst thing that can happen during a warm transfer, you explain everything to the agent, you get transferred. How can I help you? Well, now I got to go through that again. So it's like the same issue you have with your chat. You're having a conversation through chat, and then the bot books a call or calls that lead. Now they have to have the
Mm-hmm.
same conversation they just had through text. It defeats the whole purpose and they get pissed off. So that's why we have to have previous context. Like you have to have one brain. Like your business can have one brain. And that was the point of leader.
Yeah, 100%. Like I want to talk about leader in a minute, but here's another thing that happens behind the scenes, right? Like when we put things out in the marketplace to our clients, we've done a pretty good job vetting things out. And we've been through all the trials and tribulations, the hours, the headaches of working out problems. We had this one app, right, that they changed their API, right? Woo, everything broke. So we have to go back in and recode it, right, to the new API. But what I was thinking about with the warm transfers, I met, you were into VAPI, right?
Yeah.
And I was into VAPI. And then we both, I don't know if it was, timing was, but about retail. At some point, onto retail. Again, I don't remember the timing. But then VAPI really made some great changes. But like on the automotive side, we've been working on this voice bot for a while. And one of the things that we did, I was so impressed with, was the warm transfer because I'm like, oh, Jasmine, this is cool. Like, transfers to human gives me a great summary of what just happened. Because I said, like, from experience, right? If you want to trigger and you want to see the Glenn in me, keep me on the phone for 4 or 5 minutes telling you what's going on, my problems, and then figure out I have to be transferred. And then you transfer me, and the person says, how can I help you? Oh, those are trigger words for me. Like, you're not going to tell me I'm going to have to replicate this whole conversation with you. So, but we moved from retail back to VAPI. Now we've got a problem with a warm transfer with VAPI, right? We're trying to figure it out because that tool is supposedly in there, but it doesn't seem to work. So these are the things that we have to fix or figure out behind the scenes, because if we're going to deliver this to our client, like, we don't want to deliver this kind of solution to them. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's that we are our own test bed. Like, we around with all these tools. We try to stay on top of the technology, use the best tools, the best pricing, and deliver the most value to the clients. And they don't see the pain that goes on behind the scenes. So,
Or at least they haven't seen it yet. Right? Like I that guy, right, that I was talking about from because I had another guy who was like, I just need this thing. Talk to him again today. I'm like, hey, are your clients happy? He's like, yeah, they're happy. I'm like, are they asking you for reports? He's like, yep. Now they're asking me for reports. I'm like, this is what I was talking about. Now you got to go through every single call. Retail analytics isn't even accurate. It's a whole deal. So like we've gone through the problems. Every
no, I'm not going through every problem. No. I
how
will
haven't
say
we?
this. Well, because the technology is always changing. We're using a new platform next week. I mean,
I mean,
it
watching after June 10th, yeah, then we haven't. But until June 10th, yes, we have.
okay. So I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but I was gonna something about, well, okay, like for example, found out of factory, right? And like we're make we started utilizing N8N because it had more flexibilities. Yeah, it's a little complicated. Like if you're a bit of a beginner, maybe intermediate, you can get a lot of things in make. It's just easier to use, but doesn't have quite the functionality as N8N. And then you remember I talked about gum loop and said, hey man, look at gum loop. Like, it's a whole level. We checked it out. It's cool. It's got a really nice UI. You got to be how you use it, because a lot of these softwares, like, you can rack up a lot of money quick. We were open. I was watching the open AI, like, balance, like I kept feeding thing money. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like, our clients, like, it's like, you holes in the bucket. Why do you want to spend money on Facebook advertising? Let's get the fundamentals right. Like, that one pretty big client we have is, like, he didn't get good results. And, we're looking at a website and we're looking at his Google business profile, just looking at the basics. And then he had a list of 10,000 clients just sitting there, right? And we're like, there's money just sitting there. Like, why do we go spend money to Facebook or Google on ads when 10,000 clients that we can market to? Let's do things, right? Let's fix the foundation. Let's try not to spend any more money on advertising until we get this stuff right. And then if you need it, then we will talk about ad spend. But, I think that thing, right? We try to we're very frugal. I tell right on the team that you're the king of free. Like, let's use the version. Let's use the free plan. 30 days free. We today talking about Leader, like you guys vetted one software, like literally within, I don't know, Hasib and Jasmine and you, whatever, but literally within like 15 minutes, we did it on the call today, right? It was just vetted right there. Like, we thought it would do. And we're like, man, Leader already does a lot of this stuff. And we're going to continue to just advance Leader. Like we have so many ideas. The thing is already great, but our ideas are going to make it amazing. And the other thing that gets me excited, because I've been down this path like hard for the maybe 18 months, especially for the dealership business, looking into things like role play, gamification, nice KPI dashboard. And I started looking at some of these things, and there's very few things that are affordable for the average business. And I'm not even talking about all the AI we have built into Leader, but just like role play and gamification, it blew my mind. Like gamification, why is it for enterprise clients only? And why do I have to spend like $300 to $700 a month to get gamification into my CRM?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like with Leader, like, and that was the thing that motivated me to want to do this with you, is because I got beat up in the marketplace saying like, this stuff is not affordable for the average business owner. It's just out of reach. And just for one thing, I was paying, what was I paying? Like 350, 400 a month just for AI role play. And that's all it did. Nothing else.
Damn, really? Who was that? If you wanna.
I don't want to.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
It's a good company and he's a really good guy, like super cool guy. And he does have a good product. And he's got a lot of big clients. I think he's got a few Fortune 500 clients, maybe even a couple Fortune 100 clients. And, it really is. The problem with me is I know enough about at this point what it takes to build some of this stuff. And that's kind of what we vetted, like you guys vetted literally in 10, 15 minutes. Like, there's no way we'd be paying this subscription for this little bit of, thing this software. We already know we do most of it, and the things that we don't, we can very easily build.
Yeah, and then an hour later we built it. That was it. In 15 minutes, nope, that's not it. And then we just built it.
Yeah, and I think another valuable nugget for watching, hire really talented people. Like put your time, your people, and get good people. I don't remember. I think it was Google, like Sergey and partner, whatever. I think they interviewed the first 1,000 people into Google. Steve Jobs was hiring people. And if you look at like a lot of the business owners, they were extremely hands-on those first whatever 100, 500,000 that they built the company on, like fanatical on who they've been. And, I've seen it in our business and other businesses. Like if you get really good people, the synergy is amazing. Like 3 really good people do the production of maybe 8 or 9 people, truly, if they're top talent and have high synergy. And that's another reason why I like building to the synergy is an amazing payoff to business owners. But, like hiring a tricky, same with hiring a V, like even like interviewing like people, knowing who a buyer is truly a skill in itself. No doubt.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up right there. That's the second one so far. So we'll see if Greg's version did better or my version did better. Don't drop a comment on this one. Drop a comment on the last one. But if you're in there anyways, we're gonna leave a link to the BadAAAS community. Get in there. We got a
Oh
bunch of free
no.
templates. What? What happened?
What do you mean what happened? You can't skew the audience like that. That's unfair, man. That's like you're not playing by the rules.
What do you mean? I'm getting more engagement on the last video.
Yeah, because that's your video, your format. Come on, Dan. I'm like tired and I'm old, but I'm still awake. I'm still a wheel.
All right, well, we'll let the market decide.
Okay.
So in the next one, I'm going to be showing off our bot that we did for Karma. Roll the clip. You can see that one's pretty good. I mean, the voice is not bad. Actually, in the next podcast, we're going to go over the version 3 of 11 Labs. We're going to go over that next model and see if we can take this bot to the next level. It's pretty insane. So looking forward to that one. Greg, anything else before we end it?
No, I'm pumped to see what we can do with V3 version 3, 11 labs. Let's do it. Let's cook.
All right, let's cook. A comment or type cook in the chat right now. We'll send you a freebie. Click that first link in the description to get a bunch of free stuff. We have templates in there. We have a community in there and a bunch of curriculum if you're just getting into AI. So yeah, that's it. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I'll see you on the next one.
Have my great sound system right there. Then I go into the weight room and my guy's coming in probably first of next week to hang my 120-inch screen, put my projector in there. So if I want to chill and watch a movie, then I got my theater room.
The weight room, the theater room. Do you have a shower there?
No. Who needs showers? Not too much time.
You had everything. You have a place to sleep, a place to relax, a place to lift weights. I wouldn't want to leave either. I get it. You're like, Daniel, let's go to Georgia. Me too. I get it if I had that. Hell no, I'd never leave. Elizabeth,
I
I'm
don't
I'm
have
gonna stay here. It's really busy
I don't
around
have
here.
a hey, can you turn the music down? That movie's a little loud. Why are you still on the computer? It's 12 o'clock at night. I don't have any of that noise.
All the time. All the time.
Call it friction.
You've really thought like you're
What? I have a great relationship. She takes care of the house. Derek, our son, takes care of all the property. She's frugal, hardly spends a dime, causes me no stress. And it's like we date. We go and it's perfect. All I need, some dates.
um it's almost like
And she's gonna go with a younger woman, whatever you want to do.
all
Okay, you do
right.
it. Just don't need to know about it. I don't do it. I don't.
Oh man, I was
Okay,
gonna
we
say
just we just covered all the content and we weren't recording.
I recorded that last minute and a half.
Oh, okay.
From when we started about the media room, I'm like, I can't keep going with no content right now. That's a clip already.
Well, I guess we could we don't have to on this podcast, but Greg, what's your office like? The other cool I kicked everybody out. I moved everybody, not that many people, because I kept figuring out how to automate things between automation, VAs. I got it down to minimal people. And the few people I had, I just moved them to the dealership because we had space up there. So, and it's like when left, I said, God, Dan, it was like, oh my, so peaceful back here. Like I can think, right? I don't get these interruptions and there's nobody to bother me.
I have everyone to bother
I'm
me.
telling you, I could be a recluse. Like if I don't people, I'm happy.
Well, you've also dealt with so many people. It's like those people who are like, "Oh, money doesn't make you happy." Okay, you had that.
Yeah, I think money gives you options in life, which is really nice. Security first, and then options in life. And I think, and to help other people, right? And to give back when you can, where you can. For me, that's that money thing. But dang, what was I saying? It was something kind of interesting. What are you laughing at, man?
That's the worst time to ever brain fart.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's run it.